everybody. Hope we enjoyed it. I just checked that off my bucket list.
Do you have a resolution?
No, a bucket list, spending a New Year's Eve in New Haven. Right there on my bucket list, so I got checked off.
How long have they been on that bucket list?
Been there for a
Oh,
while.
wow, yes, sir.
Been to Hartford, played there a couple of years, but
Mhm.
yeah, got that right off my bucket list.
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
Nice.
So how was Quinnipiac, and what'd you think of the series? That's a pretty good hockey team.
It was good for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, coming off break and playing some games against a very worthy opponent in their building. I thought the first period of the first game, we were sort of trying to get our feet wet and run our heels a little bit. But the next 5 periods, I thought we played well. We didn't give up much. We only gave up 20 shots each night, and obviously we were doing some things well. In the second game, again, you talk about conditioning being off for a little bit, but I thought we played well. We had a lot of opportunities. The goaltender for Quinnipiac Sunday probably made 3 to 4 ESPN type highlight saves. We couldn't get to one. Some nights getting to one is hard. And I thought if we got to one, we could probably get to 2, 3, or 4 pretty quickly, but we never got to one. And so, but they're a good opponent. They've got, 5th-year seniors. They've got goaltenders very similar to the team that we played here last year. And so, obviously, their confidence level is high. They're structured well. They defend really well. Saturday, they blocked 23 shots. And so we did a lot of good things. Unfortunately, we didn't win the game Sunday. But again, as I told the team after practice today, each game you learn about yourself. And so we did a lot of good things. We just didn't score goals. I mean, with this business, you don't score goals, you're probably not going to win games. But you take some positive things away, and it's a good way to start the second half because now you're up to pace.
Yeah.
You've played at a real high level for a couple games. You've been on the road in a hostile environment, good crowds, and so it was a good way to start the second half. It really was.
Surprised you didn't put the puck away, though? I mean, with all
Well-
the talent you have on your club, right?
Well, that sometimes the goaltender's going to make these saves, and the second period we're down 1-0, and we get a 3-on-2 quick rush, and Layla's right in the slot about 20 feet, and shooting right into the empty net, and all of a sudden here comes his toe, boom, makes a save, and similar early in the third period, we did a nice job entering the zone, did a scissors, hit our weak side defenseman right, 5 feet from the net, puck's going in, and all of a sudden here's the glove. And so, some nights, as I told the team after the game, some nights the goalie's just better than what you gave her. And we weren't able to capitalize. Even when we pulled the goalie 6-on-5 with 3 minutes to go, we had a couple looks, and it just didn't happen. But as I look at it, and I watched the game again yesterday, it was like, oh, okay, we did a lot of good things. We just didn't, obviously win the game, but we didn't get the puck in the net, and they were able to capitalize on a couple opportunities, and so. It is what it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that team later on in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole, winning Defender of the Week. What kind of impact does she have on this team?
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably had 2 or 3 golden opportunities in our game Sunday. She's had a good career here, and certainly is one of the leaders of our team. And hopefully she'll continue to do that as we get the next 7 weekends, all league games, all good opponents, and we can control our own destiny from that standpoint because it's not about what the other teams are doing or what are we capable of doing. And we bring that consistently, in these last 14 games, and if we're doing that, we're going to be successful and put ourselves in a good position. And so it's really up to what the team wants to do and what the group wants to do, and if they're willing to do those things each and every night.
Mm-hmm.
I think AJ can be correct me on the stats, but I think Britta got her 100th point over the weekend. Your thoughts. What stands out to you about her journey to that milestone?
Just her work habits, what she brings. I think what you see on the ice, everybody sees, but what she does off the ice. Just a quality human being, and people sort of gravitate towards her because her leadership skills, and so she's a great captain. And then if she's able to go on the ice and produce at the level she's been able to produce at, that just helps everything out from that standpoint of wearing that C. And so, the last month and a half, as we finished up the first half, she played really well. She started, gaining some confidence as far as putting pucks in the net. no different than on our game Saturday. She got a third goal in the third period, just bing type play, great shot, beat a good goaltender, and hopefully that'll continue as she progresses here the last half of this season.
Season's so long. It's been like 2 months since you played the league the first time. Where do you think this team's grown? Where do you think you've seen maybe the most strides in the last 2 months when it comes to your team?
Yeah, good question. I've seen individual growth, especially from some of our freshmen. You see a little bit more consistency within a practice, in their work habits, and then in the game, the same type of thing. You see more consistency from each game, each night. And then collectively as a team, I think our transition game is where we're really effective. Can we create some turnovers, especially in between the blue lines, and then counterattack and try to as you enter the offensive zone. We've talked about this before. That 6, 8, 10-second window when it's the best time to create a scoring opportunity. That was evident this past weekend where Quinnipiac really packed it in. They defended well. They've got a bunch of older players that are good at what they try to do, and so this window is open for a short period of time. If you can capitalize it, that's when you get your scoring chances. The same thing will happen this weekend against Duluth. They're going to do the same thing, very structured, defend well, block shots well, have some older players, good goaltending. So as you enter the offensive zone, you have this short window where you create opportunities. And I think in the last month of the season, the first half, we did a better job in creating opportunities, got rewarded. We need to continue to do that.
How often did you skate at Vilas Park when you were growing up?
They actually used to have 2 sheets of ice with boards on the south end of the warming hut. So we actually used to play games down there. So the Madison West Flyers used to play the Westmoreland or the Lakers, and you play games outside at Vilas. So to answer your question, I'm not sure how many games I played there, but we played a bunch of games.
Yeah, a lot of great memories.
A lot of good memories. You go in between periods and try to warm your feet up, and hopefully there was a fire going on, and the warming hut was warm from that standpoint. But yeah, so
kind of neat to have the fans out there skating with you next week.
it'll be fun. I think with COVID, we missed a couple of years of that, just so fans, they see our players with their helmets on and their ponytails or whatever, but when you go to Vilas, you take your equipment off and you just have a jersey on, and you can actually see somebody's face and have a conversation with somebody. It's part of I think the special relationship we have with our loyal fans that are willing to come out not only to our games, but when we have special events. So we've missed it, and I'm sure our fans have missed it, because you see a lot of young families bring their kids out and get a chance to skate with maybe their favorite players. So it's nice to have that back. It'll be nice to get out there. Hopefully it's a crisp night and the moon's out and the stars are out, because to me that's what hockey's really about. If you love the game, you get a chance to skate outside in those type of scenarios. That's a lot of fun, and no different than, I'm sure we'll get well supported and we'll have a great turnout for our Fill the Bowl game against St. Cloud later on in the second half here. And special nights, don't do it all the time, but when we do them, it's a lot of fun for the players. It's a lot of fun for our fans, so it's a good setup.
How nice is it going to be back in your building this weekend, especially with Duluth coming to town?
Oh yeah, last home game was a week before Thanksgiving against Minnesota. 2 great games. Fans were awesome. Both teams played great. A lot of fun, and it seems like an eternity since we've played at home. Our last 2 weekends were up in Bemidji and then at Mankato, and then we start off at Quinnipiac. And so, the next 7 weeks, there's a little bit more of a routine for not only for the players, but for our fans. So we'll have 4 more home weekends, and hopefully be in a position to play a playoff series at home, and get our fans excited, get the players excited. And those are games that you can really make strides in, where the players get fired up. They like playing here, so it's a little bit more suited for everybody, and I think everybody can enjoy hockey here the second half.